So, hello everyone, and welcome.
Episode 41, I believe, because the last episode was episode 40 with Tom.
Yeah.
And we spoke about the fact that he was in episode 4 and 40.
Yeah, which is cool.
Yeah.
How was that episode?
It was alright.
It was alright.
No, it was actually pretty good. I liked it.
Would you rate it in the top 10 episodes that we've done? So
well,
you could actually do that now, because now we have so many episodes that you could easily rate 10 as being in the top 10.
Yeah. I know what my favourite episode of the podcast is. I know what I can
The first episode. It's been a downhill from there.
We peaked early.
Yeah.
No, my favourite episode, hilariously, is the one we did with Mia, where... Because that was mainly just me talking about things I love. We talked about Dexter, we talked about Doctor Who, we talked about Spider-Man No Way Home.
Yeah.
And it's just, I really enjoy...
I completely forgot that Mia was on the podcast.
Mia was on the podcast,
Mia was on the podcast. We've had everyone on the podcast.
Yeah, not everyone. That's a lie.
Everyone in the whole world.
No,
in terms
of guests, we've had Dan. He became a host.
Yeah.
We've had Tom.
Yeah.
We had Archie.
Yeah.
Remember my friend Archie?
I remember. Yeah.
We had Leander, who became a host.
Yeah.
We had Mia. We were going to have Sam. We tried to have Sam.
We tried to have Sam.
Yeah, we had Luke.
We had Luke. Yeah.
And I think that's everyone for now. I think that's all the guests we've had. We need more.
Yeah, I want to even Finn. We haven't even had Finn.
Yeah, I was just about to say I want Finn to come on at some point.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Who else? And Sammy. We should get Sammy on.
Oh yeah, we were going to record with Sammy, but there's something about it being online that scares me. He's got to come here to do it.
Yeah.
You know, so we can control all the. It's because of the horror stories we had trying to record over Discord.
Yeah. We tried many times. It failed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, is this podcast? Have we started?
I think so.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't feel full of energy today, so this is going to be
I was gonna say this seems a bit too mellow to be. The opening is supposed to be like, "Wow, welcome to episode 41."
Today, this is the mellow episode.
The mellow episode. Yeah. Every podcast has one.
Yeah.
I bet Joe Rogan's got some episodes. 4 hours, he only talks for 2 of them. The other ones, he's just like nodding, being like, "Yeah, man, fuck yeah." You ever tried DMT? Yeah.
I could imagine Joe Rogan saying that. Yeah. He probably has said that.
He said that many times.
Wow.
Have you ever tried DMT? Is like a catchphrase of his.
Wow, I can see.
But how have you been? Because you were ill last time we spoke.
I was ill on the last podcast. Yeah.
We've spoken many times since that episode.
Yeah.
We speak every day.
Yeah. But yeah, I've recovered pretty much since the illness. Yeah.
What do you think you had?
Fuck knows. It was awful. Had like a fever, a sore throat, but a throat that was so sore it was painful to almost do anything.
Yeah.
It was painful to talk, painful to drink water, to eat, all I had was like soup for like 3 days for breakfast, lunch and dinner.
How was your breathing?
Breathing was generally okay. That wasn't too bad. I didn't have trouble breathing really.
I mean, I didn't notice it, but were you like wheezing at any point? Were you being like...
No, I didn't turn into a zombie, but it was mostly just like pain in my throat and pain in my head and just like feeling generally terrible. Yeah, just generally feeling quite terrible.
Well, I'm glad you feel better. You look better. I will be honest, right now, because we're so mellow, you don't sound better.
No, I don't. I mean, I don't feel great at the moment. You know, I feel
you're better. You're not good.
Yeah, no, I don't feel great. You know, I'm coming to terms with our, you know, life is terrible. No matter, even if you're in a nice house with things, it's kind of doesn't make a difference.
Yeah. Norm Macdonald had a joke ages ago where he was talking about people who are like, I never understand someone who kills themselves, and he's just like, what, have you never experienced life? Do you live in a fucking cotton candy house? Like, no, life sucks. Yeah,
it's not all rainbows and daisies, I suppose.
Not all sunshine and unicorns. You know, sometimes life just happens.
Indeed.
Yeah. But how's life been for you? You've got one recent update in the past day.
Yeah, I got a new TV, which is finally got a TV. Hooray! It's a 4K TV, and the reason why I got it was because I was just looking through eBay, looking to see if I could find a decent TV, and I was thinking, well, it's a TV that's probably not going to get used loads. It's going to be sitting about 5 to 10 foot away from me. So I don't think it matters too much if it's secondhand, unless it's like really fucked up. Like, you know, it's going to be far away.
How do you know it's not been sneezed on constantly?
Well, I gave it a good old brush and a wipe, you know, and then I sneezed on it.
Yeah.
So I claimed
to mark your territory.
Yeah. And then while I was looking, what I noticed is pretty much all of the secondhand TVs are collection only. They don't post them.
Yeah. Well, it must be hard to post a TV from home.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. How would you get a box? You need to find a perfectly sized
imagine
box
trying to fit that in a letterbox.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So while I was looking through, I found this TV. It was 300 quid, 65 inches, perfect. I was like, wow, this is perfect. But I've already looked through like 50 TVs and all of them are in random locations too far away. I scroll down and it's in the town that Luke lives in.
Awesome.
So yeah, I was like, wow, it's destiny. And I bought it immediately without thinking. I just bought it. And then, I went round Luke's to go and pick it up and we drove over there and then we realized, oh shit, it's a 65-inch TV. How the fuck are we going to fit this into Luke's car? And the answer was it didn't really fit in Luke's car. So we had to, Luke's car is convertible. So we take the top off. And then we literally had the TV on the two back seats, like sticking out of the car.
God damn. Thank God you didn't crash the car.
Yeah. And it was really windy, like really windy. So I was worried that the TV was going to be like blown away into
like
the
a
sky.
kite into the wind.
Yeah, exactly. And we just drove at like 20 miles an hour all the way back to Luke's house, which wasn't too far. It was only like 4 minutes. And then we put it into his dad's car and we drove it all the way back to Linton. The whole way I was thinking, Jesus, if we hit a pothole, it's over. This TV is going to be demolished. So, but luckily it was fine. Yeah, it's fine TV. It fits perfectly on the TV cabinet stand.
It's a beautiful TV. There is one flaw of the TV.
Yeah, it has a very small like purple spot.
Dead pixel.
Yeah, which isn't that noticeable. It's only noticeable if you're on like a white frame. So if it's like a white background.
And even then, it's so close to the bottom. And as I was saying earlier, your eyes don't naturally fall to the bottom. It falls to the centre of the screen or the three pillars. Yeah. It's fine. Yeah. I would live with it. Yeah. You know.
Yeah. I mean, the idea was that I was thinking, well, I'll buy this TV and it's not like we're only ever going to have one TV in the whole house.
Yes, it is. You're only going to have the one.
Just one TV, so I was like, well, if it really is a big deal and we end up using the TV all the time and it does bother me, then we'll just buy another nicer TV at another point when I've got more money. But for now, it's fine. Yeah. So, so got the TV and also got the painting up. So the room is looking a lot more lively and nicer. Yeah.
No, it is. I remember, I don't know if I said it on podcast or not, but for a good while your house felt very clinical to me. It felt like a witness protection safe house. Yeah. You know.
It's because there's nothing on any of the walls.
Yeah, but that living room now, it actually feels homely, you know.
Yeah, and we'll get a couple more things in there slowly but surely. So, and then by the end of the year, we'll move and throw all of it away and start all over
You'll leave
again.
it all for the next tenants.
Exactly. Yeah, for free. Yeah. Yeah. But so that'll be nice. We can watch anime on it or what have you. You know.
Wow. That's the first thing you jumped to.
Actually, no, the first thing that we watched was the first thing that I saw when I opened Netflix, which was Friday Night Dinner.
Oh, that's why you watched it.
Yeah, it was just the first thing that was on.
I was going to say, what a weird choice to christen it.
Yeah, no. And I saw it and I was like, hey, you know what? Friday Night Dinner, I think it's funny, you know, Shalom, Jackie. So, I was like, fuck it. Yeah.
Wilson?
Yeah. Wilson. Oh, I actually do quite like Friday Night Dinner.
Early Friday Night Dinner is good. Yeah. It gets way too stale. There's like 8 seasons of it or some shit. Like, it's way too stale. Yeah. But the early seasons like 1 to 3 are really good.
Yeah. I think the first episode is a great episode. Yeah,
oh, which one's the first episode?
It's where they're like, it starts off with the 2 boys driving back, the car alarm's going off.
Is it the advert one?
I don't think so. And then they go into the house and there's a man in the toilet, but he's the man.
Oh, that one. Yeah, yes.
But he's the man who's come to collect the sofa bed.
Yes.
And so they go up to get the sofa bed and it gets stuck on the staircase. And then we find out that this man's father has just died. Yeah. And then he has a cup of tea offered to him, but the tea is full of salt. Yeah. And then he goes to have a drink of water to get rid of the taste of salt. And the water's full of salt too. And then he tries to get out of the house, but he can't open the front door. And then Jim comes in and decides to go into the toilet. And it's great. It's a fun episode.
No, that is a good episode, yeah. My favourite episode of it is the advert one, where Adam, Johnny, are those above his names?
I think that's their names, yeah.
The one who isn't Will from The In-Betweeners.
Yeah.
He has an ad... I don't remember which one, but one of them has an advert that's going to play on the radio, and slowly but surely, all the technology in the house gets busted until they have to go out and listen to it in the car, and then it's a really shit jingle, and everyone's making fun of him for it, and he gets really sad.
I like that episode as well. The advert, the radio advert. That's a good one. I like Friday Night Dinner. It's fun.
It's an alright show. It's a shame that the dad died.
It is indeed a shame. Yeah. I guess it was, he was always too hot, so that eventually caught up with him.
It wasn't just hot, it was boiling.
It was boiling. Yeah.
But how's my week been? I hear you ask.
Yeah, how has your week been?
My week's been alright, to be fair. Yeah. I don't know what it is. This week, especially at work, it's just been 3, really good days. I've left work in, a good mood. I've left work being that was fun.
Yeah.
I mean, the mornings are different. I don't need to be working for me to wake up in the morning and be like, oh, fuck, I can't believe I woke up. Oh, why am I here? But no, and I don't know if it's actually the case where these are good days, or if I've just gotten so used to the bullshit that I'm having terrible days and I'm just walking out being like, this is fine, It's like that meme of the dog sitting in a house on fire being like, this is fine, you know? But no, I've been good. I've been beaten up, but I haven't been bitten. Someone tried to bite me today, but I was like, knock it off. Then I slapped him as hard as I could.
You curb stomped him.
Yeah, and it's weird. We've not lost a member of our team. She's not dead. But she really hurt her knee last week. So we've had a new guy, as in every day there's a new person who's coming to the class.
Oh wow. Yeah.
And that's quite fun because you can see them not be used to it.
Yeah.
The first one, it was a woman whose name was Kelly. And she's usually in but she's usually in the secondary years. So for her to come in, you could tell it was oh fuck. And then the second one was a guy called Ryan, nice guy. He was really on board. It was oh yeah, good for you. Yeah. And the third one, her name's Aisha. She's lovely. She was just they're weird kids, it's just interesting to see people's reaction to them. There's one kid who I won't name who keeps trying to kiss new people, including the other kids who just come up and try and kiss you. He's tried to kiss me many times.
Jesus.
And today he's trying to kiss Aisha, and I was like, by the way, he probably will try and kiss you, Yeah. But good week. Yeah. I went to the cinema. Yesterday I went and saw 2001: A Space Odyssey.
Oh yes, I remember you mentioning.
Which I think you should watch and we should talk about. I think it's a film you'd really enjoy. I mean, it's an old film. You got to understand. It's 1968.
That is very old.
It predates the moon landing.
Yeah.
But what's beautiful about it is the reason you'll like it is that it's heavily about AI and the dangers of an artificial intelligence becoming too independent. But 2, there's something beautiful about it. It predates the moon landing. It's called 2001 for a reason. The film's set in 2001, and there's huge international space stations, and we got it's super smart AI controlling the entire ship and all that stuff. And it's there's something really pure about that. They hadn't even landed on the moon yet, but they obviously probably knew that was in action. And that guy, Stanley Kubrick was just well, in 30 years, imagine how life will be. We'll probably be going to Jupiter and living in space and all that shit. Obviously that didn't happen. But he was obviously incredibly wrong with his predictions, but there's something really pure about the idea of it. And it's just, it changed movies. It might be the most important movie ever made, in my opinion. So I think you should give it a watch. We could talk about it next week.
Definitely. Yeah. Which reminds me of that funny not YouTube, but indie series that we watched that had a kick. What was it called? A Kickstarter.
The one we found in college. Yes.
What was it called? I can't remember what that was called.
Black Holes.
Yes.
The one with the melon.
Was it Black Holes or just
Black Hole? It was definitely something
Holes.
The Holes. It was the film Holes.
Maybe it wasn't Holes. I can't remember what it was called, but either way, it was pretty funny and weird, and also apparently a complete scam.
Because it got
scammed.
That Kickstarter, I remember it raised its goal and more, and it was there'll be 6 episodes. You'll get a Blu-ray, you'll get a poster, your name will be in the credits, and just nothing happened. It's gone. The Kickstarter's still there, but it's just never happened, which sucks. Imagine if we donated to that. Imagine how cheated you'd feel.
How is that legal, is what I'm wondering.
I think it's legal as long as it's still technically in production, which it must be. But at the same time, it's been like 5 years at this point, surely.
Fucking hell. No, it must be more than that.
8 years?
Yeah, it must have been 8 years at least.
But that was a really fun short film.
Yeah.
And it was, you're correct, it was heavily inspired by 2001: A Space Odyssey.
Yeah.
Very much so.
Yeah. Actually, we should check to see what it's actually called.
I believe it's Black Holes.
It might be, I think you might be right.
Let me check. Yeah, it is Black Holes. Yeah.
I can't, but yeah, that should be illegal. Surely people, if it imagine, because some of the donation options are like a couple of $1,000s.
Yeah, I think the highest one was like 10 grand.
Imagine donating 10 grand and then nothing happens.
For 8 years.
Like, what a scam. Yeah. That is a total scam.
And it's even sadder because, like, again, that short film showed promise. I would have watched that show.
I thought it was funny. I thought it was good.
It's really funny.
Yeah, it's
good. I mean, I haven't seen it since college.
No.
But I remember it being really funny. And the animation was, like, unique. And, there was a melon.
It had a melon and it had a weird, funny man and weird characters.
Yeah. We should watch that later, that short film. Yeah. But yeah, I think that's it then. Thank you for listening.
Fuck, imagine that way, how far in are we? An 18-minute podcast. Yeah.
No, there are some things I'd like to speak about.
Yeah.
Of course. I have a story. Can I tell a story?
You can tell a story.
Can I tell a story? I mean, you've heard the story.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Bradley's story time. I want to talk about something that happened yesterday because I want it immortalised on the podcast forever. Yeah, and I've already been told this story and it is a very funny story.
It's a very funny story. Now, I've known that people like this existed for a while, but I'd never met one until yesterday. So I'm at home. It's after work. Got cinema in about an hour and a half. I'm just scrolling through Instagram and I start to look at the stories. And one of the stories is from a very, very hot girl who I've followed for a couple of months. And it was a story saying like, I wish I had someone to call right now. Which is bait. That is bait. And I felt, I immediately submitted to the bait. I replied to the story being like, I'd call you anytime or some shit like that. I know.
Also, what happened to you is karma for being cringe.
I know it's cringe, but here's the thing. I know it's cringe, but you gotta hear me out. One, she was really hot. And two, I'm sorry, but if you're gonna put something on your story saying that, you are asking for it. You're literally asking for it.
Yeah.
And to be fair, she wasn't lying because I sent back like, I'd call you anytime. Didn't think anything would come from it at all. And then no less than like 2 minutes later, I put the phone down at that point. Beep, beep, my phone stops. I look up, I look at the phone and she's calling me on Instagram.
Wow. Amazing.
Which also, I didn't know until recently that you could call on Instagram.
Yeah, you can.
Leander called me on Instagram a little while ago and I literally declined and I texted him being like, what the fuck was that?
Yeah, you've been calling people on Instagram now.
Yeah. But yeah, so I was like, I was hesitant. I wasn't going to answer, but then I thought about it and I was like, well, I literally asked for exactly this. I said I'd call her about, any time. I guess I have to answer. And plus, who knows? Who knows how it could go?
Yeah.
So I answered the call and it starts off relatively pleasant, just like the normal, like, oh, hi, what's your, Bradley, right? Oh, yeah, you're blank, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And then she almost immediately goes, okay, Bradley, before we really get into this, I'm going to need to ask you a question. And I was like, okay. And she goes, what's your star sign and when were you born? And immediately I was like, oh, fuck. This isn't gonna go well.
Oh, man.
But at this point, I was also like curious.
Yeah.
Because again, I've never met someone like this. I know they exist, but I've never met someone like this. So I was like, fuck it. Let's see how it goes. So I tell her, I go, yeah, I'm a Cancer. I was born on this date, in this month, this year. And she goes, okay, do you know what time you were born? And I go, I don't. So I just immediately was like, well, I do know it was in the morning. Yeah. So I was just like, 10 o'clock. And she goes, are you sure?
Really?
Yeah. And I was like, I don't have the birth certificate in front of me, but it must have been around 10 or 11. And she was like, okay, just give me a second. I heard typing away on a keyboard. About 20 seconds later, she goes, oh. And I was immediately like, okay, what does it tell you? And she goes, well, it does say here that we're not going to be compatible. And here in my head, I've got two things. I'm thinking, one, fucking hell, you move fast. Like, Jesus Christ. Like, I said I'd call you. I didn't say, hey, I'm going to be your boyfriend now.
Yeah.
But two, I was also like, okay, so I've got to see how deep the crazy goes. Because clearly this person is crazy if she believes that far in astrology. So I decided, let's poke the bear a bit. I went, well, how comes I'm not compatible? What does it say? And she goes, well, it says here, based on your star sign, that you're a pretty intelligent guy and you're looking for a partner who matches your intellect, who, you know, is kind of like a battle of wits. You can work together. Which is true.
God, also, this is part of the thing that I hate about all of these websites.
I know, they're so...
signs, is that they're
so broad.
They'll give a slightly broad and general thing so that no matter who you give it to,
I know.
They'll be like, oh wow, that is me.
Yeah, but because I know that, that's why I wasn't like, oh my God, you're psychic. Like, no, I was just like, well, yeah, that's true. And she goes, but me, personally, and these were exact quotes. She goes, I'm a girl who wants to be led and provided for. And I was like, okay. And she goes, I'm someone who doesn't want to have to use their brain in a relationship. And I was immediately, I didn't laugh, but I was thinking like, wow, you know, that's fucking ridiculous. So at this point I was like, okay, I've poked the bear enough. I don't care for this anymore. So I was like, okay, well, it was, you know, good talking to you. I'm gonna leave you to it. You know, sorry, it can be better. Sorry, I'm not a better person. I don't know, I didn't know what to say. I was just like, okay, well, sorry about that, I guess I'll catch you later. Bye. And I hang up.
Yeah.
And I'm a polite guy. So I sit on it for a couple of minutes and I was like, well, I should probably just message her being like, nice talking to you, something like that, you know, something to end it. And I type out the message I send and it doesn't send. And I was like, okay, what's, you know, I click on her profile and she blocked me on Instagram.
Bruh. Jesus Christ, man. I've only met someone like that once, which was the girl. There was a girl that I met on Tinder, and this is the only person I've ever hooked up or gone anywhere with on Tinder, and she turned out to be like that. Very into her star signs, very weird, very crazy. Yeah.
But first of all, it's hilarious that I was blocked for my star sign. That's really funny.
Yeah.
Why did she block you? Oh, I'm Cancer. But it's also like, you want to be led and provided for. It's 2024. Like,
some women are just lazy.
Where's your feminism, bruv? Like, led and provided. She doesn't want to have to use her brain in a relationship. Also, not being funny, I don't need a relationship. Just looking for a quick shag. Like, why are you making so many assumptions just based on my star sign? You don't need to use your brain. I'll use you. I don't give a shit. I don't care about you, woman. Like, I don't know. It was honestly crazy to the point where, as you'll know, I messaged in fact in the group chat with you and Dan, letting you know. But I'm quite an anxious guy. So once I saw that I'd been blocked and I was really thinking about it, I was like, okay, that is one of the craziest conversations I've ever had. But like, did I do something wrong and I don't know it? And I don't feel this way anymore, but seriously, for like an hour after it happened, I was thinking like, somehow, someday, that call is going to come back to bite me. I'm going to regret ever having that call. Oh, one day I'm going to be cancelled on Twitter because of that fucking call. But obviously that was so just weird. Like weird anxiety, and obviously it's actually nothing at all.
So how did you know this girl?
I don't know. I think it was probably either she just appeared in my suggested one day because she was hot. That's the only reason I was following her. Nice. Or it could be a case where like I saw her on Twitter and it had her account in the bio or some shit. I'm not sure.
I see.
But
wait,
yeah.
So was she British?
She had an American accent.
So definitely American. 100% American.
Oh no, she was definitely American, but I don't know if she was in America. You know.
A woman that stupid,
yeah,
could only come from one place.
Yeah, and it was like one of those like really like what's your star sign?
Oh god, yeah, that's so cringe. Jesus, man. Yeah, I honestly think all of that star sign stuff is really fucking cringe. Yeah.
No, it is. It's not only cringe. I mean, I get it from a certain perspective. In a way, it's a lot like religion. That's just your religion.
Yeah.
Like, I get it gives you hope to believe that life is, like, written in that way and people can just, like, you know... It's like, I was telling you I think I told you the other day, I've got a student in my class who, he was acting up a lot. And one of the fellow teachers, called his mum and was like, hey, we've noticed that he's kind of, he's been acting up. We just wanted to know, is there anything going on at home? Like, is he getting enough sleep? Is he eating well?
Fuck, yeah, I remember you telling me.
And the mum goes, well, there is a full moon this week. And it's like, that's your actual answer. Do you want us to write that down in a professional school document, present that to Oxford? Like, what the fuck did you just say? It's a full moon? Your child has bitten 4 people today. He is a werewolf because of the full moon. Like,
God, fucking damn.
Yeah. Astrology people are full of beans.
And all women.
They're mostly women. In fact, I don't want to make an assumption, but I have never met an astrology guy.
I haven't.
Or heard of
why?
an astrology guy.
There's a reason why, on average, women earn less than men. It's because, on average, women are way dumber than any man.
Well, I don't know if I agree with that.
No, I'm joking, but
it is true.
It is true. It's definitely true.
Yeah.
There are, but no.
I'd
say, I think that is definitely true. I think there are a lot of really, really stupid.
Yeah, but there are a lot of really stupid guys too.
There are a lot of really stupid guys.
I think there's just a lot of stupid people. I don't think the genders. There's just. I think most. I would go so far as to say most of the human race are as dumb as a sack of bricks.
I'd agree with that. Yeah. Definitely.
Like a good 60% of people are just fucking idiots.
Yeah. Oh, more than that. Definitely more than that.
Yeah, you think 70%?
Yeah. I'd say 70 to 80% of all people are really fucking stupid.
If aliens came to Earth, they would not want that 80%. Only 20% of us would be abducted.
Yeah.
And I include myself. Would you include yourself in the smart 20%?
I'd probably include myself in the top. I don't know.
How arrogant are you about to sound? I include myself in the top 5 intellects.
Alright, here is a question. How many people do you think to themselves, man, everyone is so stupid?
Exactly.
Because I feel like actually probably a lot of people do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
then again...
You also have to look at, like, the evidence of stupidity. And I don't just mean, like, no, I mean, like, for example, like, not to shit talk them, but like people who have kids as teenagers.
Yeah.
I have nothing against that personally, but if you've done that, you're in that 80%, but like, that's not a smart thing to do.
Actually, no, yeah. I'm definitely a lot smarter than the average person.
I also believe I also believe you're a lot smarter. I'm as dumb as a second.
I mean, come on, no. Let's not second guess this. We are a lot smarter than the average person. Have you been out there? People are fucking retarded as shit. Yeah.
There are people, there's a reason, and I don't remember which comedian said this, but it's true. There's a reason that bottles of bleach need to have do not drink written on them.
Yeah.
Like, that's the average person right there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't remember which comedian it was, but he was like, you should take that off the bottles of bleach, because it would just be survival of the fittest at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah. I hate people.
I hate people a lot. Yeah.
Should we have a look at our topics list?
Let's see.
If you want to get into one of your topics or one of my topics. I've only really got 2 topics. Those 2 are connected.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Pretty much.
We could do my ones at the end.
Okay, should we jump into mine?
Yeah.
Well, in that case, I want to first talk about Silent Hill.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of Silent Hill?
I have heard of Silent Hill. I know some of the characters from Silent Hill. Isn't like the guy with the triangle in his head.
Pyramid Head, yeah. You know it for Dead by Daylight is how you know the characters from Silent Hill.
See, I was sure that I'd seen some movie or something.
There is 2 Silent Hill movies.
I'm sure I've seen something related to it.
Well, let me ask then, as someone who doesn't know, what do you think Silent Hill is about?
I don't know.
Do you know? But like, what would you guess it's about?
Okay, what would I guess it's about? I would guess it's about. See, I don't know the plot, but I know it involves monsters. So is it about like another dimension with monsters in?
Yes, yeah, pretty much. Well, yes and no. The other dimension part is there's mixed opinions on that. Some people believe it's another dimension, but is it? It's hard to say. I don't believe it's another dimension. The idea of Silent Hill. So Silent Hill is a town. It's like a little town in rural America, probably around what's it called? Where's that town that Stephen King uses a lot? Do you know the one I mean? The one that was in It, Derry.
Yeah.
Maine. That's the town I'm thinking of.
Okay.
Yeah. A lot of people think it's in Maine. And yeah, it's a town where it's a ghost town that lures people in with like false promises. And then when they're there, the town's full of monsters and, they're constantly in a fight to the deaths. But the idea is that the town is like, it lures in guilty people to punish them. Mm. And while you're in the town fighting these monsters, you will come to like a cell. Either you'll just be punished sufficiently, or you'll come to like a realization about yourself.
Yeah.
Now, there's a lot of games in the Silent Hill series. Most of them I don't care for. There's like 8 games, I want to say around 8. And like 4 of them are good.
Yeah.
And the other 4 is shit.
Yeah.
But what's known as universally the best one is Silent Hill 2. Silent Hill 2 is the one with Pyramid Head.
Mm-hmm.
And that game is about a man called James who, he gets a message from his dead wife, a letter from his dead wife asking him to come to Silent Hill to see her because they went on holiday there years ago. Mm. He comes to the town, spooky monster spook, bang, 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 killing monsters. There's other people in the town and some of them are seeing their own monsters. There's some characters, one character really, who isn't seeing any monsters. She doesn't know what the fuss is about. Pyramid Head is like... Pyramid Head, that's the thing. Pyramid Head in Dead by Daylight isn't good. Because Pyramid Head isn't a evil thing. Mm. The idea of Pyramid Head, because that's another thing about the monsters. All the monsters are symbolic. They're a part of you. For example, there's a monster, they all have weird names too. There's a monster called Abstract Daddy, who he's shaped like 2 people on a bed. And it's actually metaphorical in 2 ways. For James, it's metaphorical of his wife on her deathbed when she was dying of cancer. But for another person, it's metaphorical of the rape she used to receive from her dad. So they're all kind of like that. And the idea of Pyramid Head is that James has come to this town. Spoiler alert, he killed his wife. Because she was dying of cancer and he put her out of his misery with a pillow. And he's blocked that out. And Pyramid Head is both leading him throughout the town by chasing him, like he's chasing him to where he needs to go in order to get this realization, but is also punishing him by doing that, by scaring him. Because even though he's constantly after him, like hunting him, and he's a terrifying figure, you don't actually fight Pyramid Head until the very end. And when you fight him at the end, that's when the character James realizes that he killed his wife. And then you don't even kill Pyramid Head. Pyramid Head kills himself. Oh. Because his job is done.
Yeah.
So for him to go from that to suddenly in Dead by Daylight actually just be... Basically, the only person he should ever care about is James, because it's James's monster.
Right, yeah.
But yeah, it's a great game. Those early 4 were PS1/PS2. They're old games. I think 2001 is when Silent Hill 2 came out.
Damn, that is old.
Which means that I've never been able to... I have played it, but I've played a PC port which works. I can play it, but the controls are shit. Mm. It's got tank controls. You know what tank controls are?
Tank controls?
Yeah, in a video game.
No.
That's where one joystick will move your body.
Yeah.
And the other one... It's like moving a tank. So, say you're moving forward, you move forward, but then... To turn left, you actually have to look left and then move forward again.
Yeah.
Which sucks. That's a sucky way of playing any game. And also, while the games are beautiful artistically, I mean, it's not. They're not pinnacle. They're artistic, but they're not works of art. The acting is shoddy in some places. The character models can be a bit silly. And for ages, I was just like, man, I really wish there was a game that I could play that would make me feel really good. It's the best way of putting it. A game that isn't hard to play, that has the story. And then they announced 2 years ago that, last year, sorry, that Silent Hill 2 is going to be remade for the PS5 and PC, you know.
Oh, wow.
It's getting a full-on remake. And I'm really excited for it. There's no update on it yet. There's 2 trailers. One is a story trailer, and the other one actually shows gameplay. It looks okay. It's hard to say until I play it. It looks okay, but it doesn't mean it'll play okay. But there's no release date yet. I'm hoping it'll be released this year. But the reason I bring up Silent Hill is that a few days ago, they had a PlayStation conference thing, like an event, you know, like E3 but for PlayStation.
Right.
And they announced then, they're like, hey, not only is Silent Hill 2 still coming out, but once this event finishes in about 2 hours, we're dropping a new Silent Hill game for the PS5.
Oh, shit.
And not only that, but it's completely free.
Wow.
And I was like, oh shit.
Was it good?
Well, that's what I want to talk about.
I see.
Now, the reason it was free is because it's not a long game at all. I did play it all. I would say, I mean, I'm not a speedrunner or anything, but I'm also like, because that's the thing with horror games, I'm sure most people go slow. They're like, oh, I'm really scared. What's down this corridor? I'm fine with being, like, you know, I love horror. So I'm not doing that. I'm running into everyone being like, who's in here? You know. So I'm sure for like some players it would take around like 2 to 3 hours, but I completed it in about an hour and a half. It plays well. The gameplay is really good, which gives me a lot of hopes for Silent Hill 2 because it has got a really great story. But is it good? Well, one, it doesn't need to be. It's free. It doesn't need to have the best story ever made. Which it doesn't. It doesn't have the best story ever made. In fact, I unfortunately the game is kind of cringe in its story. Yeah. So we follow a girl who she's arrived at this house. No, it's like it's like a warehouse, I guess. A hotel. I think it's a hotel. I think that's the best way of putting it. And she's looking for a friend of hers who's an artist. And she's going around the hotel. The hotel's like dilapidated and it looks awful. And in a lot of the rooms, there's like, you know, just paintings on the wall that a friend's done. And we're getting like flashbacks to the friend being like, you know, I painted this for you, kind of shit. And she's checking her phone all the time and she's getting texts and shit. And then she goes up to the roof and we find out through text with a different friend that the artist friend killed herself by jumping off the roof. And she gets to the point where she's like, okay, I feel terrible that she killed herself. I'm going to kill myself. And she jumps off the roof. She then wakes up where she was originally. She wakes up in the first room in the hotel. And she's like, what's going on, you know? And then the texts start repeating, but the hotel's gotten even worse and the painting's all distorted and shit. And then she's like, okay, she gets back to the top. She tries to kill herself again. Then she wakes up and she goes through the hotel, but suddenly she's in her old school. And we're getting to learn more about the bullying, more about the characters. And we find out that, yeah, the artist was getting bullied. So there's Girl A is our main character. Let's call her Lila. I don't remember the names. Lila. Girl B is the artist. Let's call her Mindy. And Girl C is the other friend. Let's call her Daphne. I don't know. So I've already forgotten the names.
Cindy,
Lily, Mindy, and Daphne. I think it was. It is now Lily, Mindy, and Daphne.
Okay.
So Daphne and Mindy were best friends. Yeah. But Daphne and Lily were also best friends, and Lily thought that Mindy was trying to take Daphne from her. Again, Mindy's the artist friend who killed herself.
Yeah.
And Mindy was getting bullied a lot, and Mindy wrote Daphne a letter.
Yeah.
Being like, I need your help, you know, I need someone with me. And Lily found the letter and stopped Daphne from getting it. So Mindy killed herself, and Lily realises it's kind of her fault.
I see. Okay.
But yeah, we end up in the old school. There is a monster chasing us, so Mindy's artist name is like Lilybell or some shit like that. Like it's like a flower, bluebell, I think. I don't know.
Yeah.
But the monster is like a flower creature who is like a, because again, all the monsters, that's Silent Hill's main thing. The monsters are symbolic. And yeah, and you don't
get chased by a flower monster.
Yeah, you get chased. That's the main problem I have with it. A cringe story, fair enough. The gameplay's still fun. But what would have made it even more fun is if we could actually fight the monster. That's a big thing in Silent Hill. It's not just escape. No, you get weapons. You have like lead pipes, you get guns and shit. It's not just escape the monster. Kill these fucking monsters. So and there's 3 of them in this short game. But for all 3 of them to just be like running through a maze from the monster instead of like being able to take the fight to it, I found a little bit disappointing. Like, especially at the end of the game, third fight, really long maze, you're having to find objects to escape it. It's like, man, let us fight this thing. That's a Silent Hill thing. Let us fight it. Let us kill it. We're going to be killing so many monsters in Silent Hill 2.
To be fair, I would imagine
free.
that would be, yeah, it's free. I would imagine that would be harder to do.
I know, so
It's easier to just have someone running away from an animated character than actually animate the fights.
I know, and I'm not complaining too much. The only reason I do have that complaint, and I do think is relevant, is that I have finished it. Again, it's fine, it's fun, it's a good little demonstration of what Silent Hill can be like in 2023. Is it a game I will ever play again? No, not really, because without that sort of element of like fighting, of like combat, and it's just the running and the escaping through a maze, where, by the way, the maze isn't like randomised. I know the way out now. It's like, well, there's not really much replayability. I basically watched a movie in game form. Yeah. Silent Hill 2 isn't like that. Silent Hill 2 can be very, very replayable. It's got like boss battles and shit. But this game, it just, again, it's free. It's a great demonstration of the technology of Silent Hill now. I can't wait for more Silent Hill games now. There's going to be another one called Silent Hill F, which is set in rural Japan. And that's also going to have like flower monsters and a twig thing. And I might be more excited for that than I am Silent Hill 2, just because it's like an original story and it looks really nice.
That sounds nice.
Yeah, but yeah. So yeah, Silent Hill, the short message. I'd give it like, it's a good demonstration, but it is a video game. I have to take that into account. So I can only really give it like a 6 out of 10.
Still fine.
Still fine. Would I recommend you play it? Yeah, play it once. If you're not a horror fan, you'd probably be quite scared, and that's fine. That's what it's for, But yeah, is it the very best that Silent Hill could ever do? No. By the way, again, I haven't played the original Silent Hill 2 like the way it's meant to be played, but I love the game. It's my favourite game that I've never played, and I would give the story like a 9 out of 10. I think it's one of the best stories in video games ever, and I can't wait to be able to properly play it in the remake. But yeah, admittedly, I am a little bit cautious for the Silent Hill 2 remake, because it's being developed by a team called Bloober Team. You ever heard of them? I doubt it.
Bloober Team.
Bloober Team.
Sounds like a terrible company name.
It's a terrible company name. Admittedly, kind of shitty company. They've made very mid games. They made Cry of Fear, Layers of Fear. You ever heard of that?
No.
Yeah. They made the only game they've made that I actively played, finished, is the Blair Witch game, because I love Blair Witch. I love the Blair Witch Project, and the game is not good. It's not good. That's the thing. I'm biased because I love Blair Witch. It's definitely not a good Blair Witch game. It could be a good game. I don't think it is. I don't know. It sounds funny to say because Blair Witch is just people walking in the woods. But it's just walking in the woods and stuff. And I know that makes it sound like it would be a good Blair Witch game. But it's actually, it's not. It's a really annoying game. Maybe it's supposed to be annoying, but it's just really annoying. And you have to fight monsters with a phone or some shit, and it's like, well, Blair Witch doesn't have monsters. It's all subtle, It's not literally woody creatures going That's not the idea of Blair Witch.
Well, to be fair, if it's all subtle, that kind of makes it hard to turn into a game.
Exactly, yeah. It's a game that shouldn't have been made. So yeah, I am a little bit cautious, but I'm also optimistic because, it's a remake. How can you fuck up a story that naturally brilliant? You can't, as long as you stick to the original source material. So that's my only fear. Hopefully they don't.
You'd be surprised.
They don't shove their own shit in, essentially.
I think you'd be surprised.
There is already, unfortunately, some hints that they have. There's one shot in one of the trailers where on a wall, James reads, written on a wall is, you reap what you sow. And it's like, man, no, Silent Hill 2 is a lot more subtle than that, dude. Like, there's no way this guy who's got a dead wife, doesn't remember killing her, is just walking around a town with like messages like that written, you reap what you sow, you hate what you've become, you know, death follows you to the end. And he's constantly the entire time being like, I wonder what all this means. Like no, yeah, that's a little bit worrying, but as long as they still like don't stray too far from it, I just hope I'll enjoy it. I'll obviously talk about it when it comes out. It'll probably come out around Halloween. That's when I'd put it out. I really want to like playing it because it's one of my favourite stories in video games. You know?
No.
Yeah. Talking of video games, do you mind if I go on to my final topic and then we can talk all your things?
Go ahead.
So recently, Suicide Squad: Kill the Justice League came out. It's the latest Rocksteady game.
Was it steady like a rock?
It was pretty Rocksteady, yeah. It's from the developers of the Batman Arkham series. Now, I have spoken at length on this podcast about how much I love Batman Arkham. I fucking love them. I love them so much. But I haven't bought this game for two reasons. One, do you know how expensive games are these days, bro?
Oh, fuck me. Yeah, we've talked about this before.
Do you know how much the deluxe edition of this game is?
Oh, I don't want to fucking know.
It's £99.
What?
The deluxe edition of the game.
I'm sorry. In what fucking world does a video game cost £100? That is ridiculous. That is insane. A video game, in my opinion, should never cost any more than £30.
Well, I don't necessarily agree with that. Especially, well, alright, in a perfect world, yeah, I'd agree. But it's a case where these days, because, you know, it's all AAA games, you know, with the latest software, you know, the latest hardware.
Here's why I have that opinion. Think of the last favourite movie that you went to and saw that had a gigantic budget. Yeah. There are, like, Marvel, all of those movies, doesn't matter how much money has been spent on it, doesn't matter how huge or small the budget is, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if they've spent literally $1 billion making it, which no game has ever cost, right? Has a game ever cost more than $1 billion?
$1 billion, no.
Yeah.
No. But no movie has cost $1 billion.
Really?
No. I mean, you've had back-to-back movies that have cost that much. Like, Avengers...
What is the most expensive movie?
The most expensive movie, to my knowledge, is Justice League, hilariously.
Wow, really?
I believe
did that cost?
I believe it was... That movie on its own, and I'm going to Google it now, but I believe that movie on its own was, like, technically... It depends if... Because, you know, it's hard to say when... There's fucking, you know, when the marketing budget is different.
I'd say the marketing budget is a part of it. Yeah.
Okay, so adjusted for inflation, most expensive movies. Do we want it adjusted for inflation?
I don't mind. I just want a rough number.
So here it actually says that the most expensive movie is Star Wars: The Force Awakens.
Oh.
I don't think that's true. 447 million. Really? I wasn't aware of that.
Wow, that is expensive.
That's really expensive.
Okay, never mind $1 billion then. So essentially almost £500 million, £500 million.
Yeah. Do you want to know hilariously the top three most expensive movies is a really funny list.
Let's hear.
So we've got Star Wars: The Force Awakens, cultural phenomena.
What?
You know.
Oh right, yeah.
People love Star Wars.
I thought cultural phenomenon was the second movie. Yeah. I was going to say, what the fuck is that?
No, but that's going to make it funnier. The second one is Jurassic World: Fallen Kingdom. Fair enough. People love Jurassic World. Yeah. Literally an icon. The third one, Pirates of the Caribbean on Stranger Tides.
On Stranger Tides?
The fourth one.
Wow. One of the least favourite ones.
Yeah, one of the worst ones. Yeah. That movie was adjusted for inflation, 492 million.
Damn. Yeah. Well, and that, I mean, how many games, well, there aren't any games that have cost 500 million.
That's not true. There will be. GTA 6 is 500 million.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Which hasn't been released yet. But
hasn't been released yet.
I'd be willing to bet my bottom dollar that that's also going to cost almost £100 or $100 for each person to buy, which is ridiculous because to watch that movie in the cinema costs what, 10 quid?
Yeah, but here's the difference when it comes to games. One, they take a lot longer to make than movies, which they do, that's true. And two, while a movie is a set experience, because of the interactivity and the personalisation of a video game, it's basically a video game is way more replayable than a movie can be rewatchable. To some, it depends on the movie, depends on the game. For example, fucking GTA 5, I have 300 hours in that game. I've not watched 300 hours of the same movie over and over.
True.
I just haven't done that.
That's true. But however, I mean, the reason why it pisses me off is that, I mean, it still costs the same.
Here's what's pissed me off with Justice League. Because the original, the standard edition of Justice League, £70, you get the full game.
£70?
Now, £70, I'm not too adverse to. As long as it's a game that I know I'm going to like. Like, I paid £70 for Spider-Man 2. I knew I was going to enjoy Spider-Man 2. I knew I was going to play Spider-Man 2 again. Probably play it again and again and again, you know? Alright, the deluxe edition again, £99, as you can see there. Now, what do you think is the difference between the standard edition and deluxe edition? What do you think's making this deluxe? What's worth that extra £30?
Is it like DLCs, skins?
Half right. It's skins. That's it.
Yeah.
You get the full game, you get the Justice League outfits, 3 Black Mask Notorious weapons, Squad Gold's weapon dolls, I don't know what that is, 1 Battle Pass token, and no shade colour swatches. No.
I stand by it. I stand by it. No game should cost more than £30 unless it costs a phenomenal amount of money to make. Because regardless of how long it takes them to make or how much enjoyment it gives people, at the end of the day, if it costs a certain amount, realistically, I think it is ludicrous to sell things for making 10x profit.
Yeah. But I do agree with that to some extent. But I'm if I know I'm going to enjoy a game, first of all, for this game, I would never buy the deluxe edition. I don't give a shit about skins. Fuck your skins. All skins should be free. That's what I believe in a video game. Fuck you. Yeah. But even the normal £70 version, again, I paid £70 for Spider-Man 2. Some games aren't that expensive. Alan Wake 2 came out and it was 50 quid. Lovely. That's lovely.
So expensive.
I know it's so expensive, but it's lovely.
All of the games that I've bought,
I imagine Silent Hill 2 will be 50 quid too.
Fuck me. All the games that I bought, at least in forever, every game that I've ever bought, every single game I've ever bought, I think the most expensive one is probably between 20 and 30 quid.
Yeah, but you're buying them on sale too.
I mean, I'm buying them on Steam. I
don't
know if they're on sale.
For example, I mean, PlayStation, different story. On Steam, no word of a lie, I believe that every single game I've bought on Steam that was above £10, I've bought on sale.
Yeah.
I have games on Steam that were £60 taken down 80%, and I've bought them. Yeah. I'm not lying there. I think every single one I've bought was on sale.
And that's how much they should cost to begin with. Because that is ridiculous.
Yeah.
If movie companies can sell people a DVD for less than the cinema ticket in some cases, then so should the game companies, right? Like if you were to buy how much does a Blu-ray of Avengers?
Blu-rays are usually 15 quid.
That's how much the games should cost then. That's how much the games should cost then. They shouldn't cost more than that. Otherwise, it's ridiculous. Imagine if movies were to start charging you twice as much and it was
another argument you can make there is that a movie say Oppenheimer, 3 hours. A game that's 3 hours long, for example, Silent Hill: The Short Message, about 3 hours. That's free. Most games usually run an average length for a game is around 20 plus hours. And that's a bit of a different story there. If it was for example, you could say that about a movie, but a Blu-ray box set of a TV show, that could also be around 50 quid. 100% that could be around 50 quid.
Okay, right. Here's a counter argument. Netflix. You spend... Oh, but then again, you've got the Game Pass.
Yeah, you've got the Game Pass. You get the PlayStation Now.
That's the odds then.
Yeah.
Just stick with the Game Pass.
And in a way, that's actually very relatable because they don't have the new games. You have to wait for them. Just like Netflix doesn't have new movies coming out, you know.
I see.
Yeah. But yeah, but even for the standard edition Suicide Squad, £70. My problem isn't with spending £70 on a game. If I know I'm going to like the game, I'll do that. It's this game. No, I'm not going to spend £70. I probably won't even buy it on sale. I hate the idea of this game. They haven't learned, the industry hasn't learned the lesson from Avengers. I've talked about the Avengers game on the podcast too. Terrible game. I hate the fact that I bought it and then played it.
Loads.
I platinumed it.
Yeah.
This is just Avengers, but instead of being the Hulk and Thor, you're Harley Quinn and King Shark. I don't give a shit. I've seen the Suicide Squad movies. I think the second one is okay. Am I going to spend £70 on a fucking... No, I'm not. I don't give a shit. But yeah, it's set in the Arkham universe, which when I first heard, I was a bit like, because again, the game's called Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. So I was like, oh man, something tells me they're going to kill the Justice League in this game. Batman's a part of the Justice League. But it's even worse than that, because yeah, there's a lot of Justice League members in this game. We get the Flash, Superman, Green Lantern, Wonder Woman, and Batman. And it's like, man, you're wasting so much fucking potential right now. Why is this the game you're coming out with? Bros, make a Superman game. Make a The Flash game. I would love a The Flash game.
No, make Suicide Squad the least popular one.
Make your next game be the game where you kill Superman instead of making a Superman game for... Why the fuck would you do that?
Yeah.
What a stupid decision. That's like if the first Avengers movie was Avengers Infinity War and they kill off half of the Avengers in that game and then there's no end game. They don't bring it back. That's the end. Like, it's just a ridiculous idea. And obviously, I the game has come out. I'm not going to buy it or play it because I also don't care for that sort of game. It's like Fortnite. I don't give a shit about looter shooters. Oh yeah, let's go and kill these guys so that we can upgrade our gear. They drop XP. Oh, I've got the Crimson Gauntlets. They have +5 battle and +2 shield. I don't give a shit about any of this. Give me a good game with a good story. That's all I care about. They don't do that. I've watched the story on YouTube. Don't get me wrong. Some of it's okay. For example, Wonder Woman in the game, because that's the idea of the game is that, do you know Brainiac? The DC villain? Yeah. Brainiac's come to Earth and has brainwashed the Justice League. Everyone except Wonder Woman. And the Suicide Squad are sent to Metropolis to try and stop them. And Wonder Woman comes in and tries to help them, but then Superman kills her. And they're going for their Justice League one by one. And at some point, King Shark gets like a Green Lantern ring, and Captain Boomerang's in there too. And he gets like access to the Speed Force for a little bit and all that shit. There are some fun things. Some of the jokes are really fun. It's because like the Suicide Squad is like funny. They're funny characters. The hardest I laughed in it is it's really dumb, but it's a sort of joke I really do love. Where obviously Superman's evil, but Amanda Waller, the leader of the Suicide Squad, has sent a nuke to Metropolis. He's just going to kill them all, including the squad. And Superman catches the nuke, and Captain Boomerang goes, "Oh yeah, go Superman!" Oh fuck, it's Superman! That's just a silly joke, but I think that's really funny.
Oh yeah, I've seen that pop up as a meme.
Yeah,
I've seen that pop up.
But I also do some jokes that are just like dumb. Like when they kill the Flash, King Shark's like, he saved our lives. We should give him a warrior's burial. And then he turns around and Captain Boomerang's pissing on the Flash's corpse. And Deadshot goes over and is like, "Hey man, don't be so disrespectful." Whoa. Congratulations. And we find out, we don't see it, but we find out Captain Boomerang's hung like a fucking horse. And Harley Quinn's like, "Man, that explains a lot about your personality." And it's like, okay, I don't find that funny, you know. Fine, piss on the Flash's cock. I don't give a shit. But like, did he have to have like a massive cock? Like, what's the point in that? Like,
yeah, that was a bit cringe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they kill the Justice League. They kill Batman, which I've seen people on Twitter be like, "Oh man," yeah, really crying about it. "Oh man, they killed Batman Arkham. I loved Batman Arkham." Alright, listen, I loved Batman Arkham. Am I distraught about the fact that they killed him? No. They just could have killed him better. It's kind of a weak death. So they have a boss battle against him, and all the boss battles I've seen, they're all shit. They're all really bad boss battles. Some of the worst boss battles. The boss battle against Batman's terrible. He's Batman. We've been Batman for 4 games. When you're playing Batman, you're like picking them off one by one. I thought it was going to be that, like, because you could control any of the members of the squad. I thought it was going to be like you start this mission with one of them, and as you're going around, Batman's like going to pop. It's going to be like almost a horror scene. Batman's going to like pop up behind you and drag you off, and then you'd switch to another character. And obviously they're looking for Boomerang. Let's say Boomerang's gone. It's Harley now. She's looking for, and then she's got a gun, and Batman whips the gun from her with the back claw and like hands it. I was expecting like a horror. That's how I would have done it. Instead, they get dosed with fear toxin, Scarecrow's fear gas, and then they fight a giant shadow Batman, and they're shooting him with guns until the health bar ends, and that's it. And it's like, man, you could have it didn't have to be Batman. You could have literally done that. Oh no, it's a demon Superman. Let's just shoot him with fucking bullets. But yeah, Batman's then beaten, and they take him to Lex Luthor, who's in the game. And they do some shit, I don't fucking care. And then he's finally like, you can take him. And then Harley takes the bruised and bloodied Batman and sits him on a park bench, and she gives like a 2-minute speech being like, but you didn't think it'd be me at the end, did you, Bats? Yes. The thing about Joker, blah, 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 blah. And Batman's just sitting there. And at this point I was like, is he already dead? Is he confident? Then he looks up and he's like, are you done with this bad stand-up routine? It's like, you're alive. You're there. You know what's about to happen. And then she gets out a gun and points it at the thing, and she's like, well, every good joke's gotta end with a bang. And this is Batman. I've been this Batman 4 times in 4 games. This Batman on one night, 2 years into his career, took on 8 assassins on Christmas. 8 assassins, including Deadshot, who's on the team. Fucking Bane, Joker, Killer Croc. Like, he's took on some of the worst. He fought the entire League of Assassins. Like, how is this how this Batman dies?
He got killed by Harley Quinn.
But he was just sat on a bench. He didn't even raise his arm. He didn't even go, no. Like, you could have just raised your arm and taken the gun. You are Batman. That's how they kill you? Tragic. Terrible death. And again, I don't care that they killed him, but man, give him a hero's death, give him a worthy death, have him like explode or some shit. I don't fucking know. And it is sad too, because obviously the actor who plays Batman, Kevin Conroy, passed away, and this is probably, apparently he recorded lines for a upcoming movie, but this might as well be the last time. This is definitely the last time he'll voice Arkham Batman, obviously.
Damn, so that is actually the end of the Arkham Batman.
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
how he's died.
Even if they were going to bring him back, they can't. He's dead. The actor is dead.
That's terrible.
And just like, what a terrible send-off for the character that, I'm not being funny, Rocksteady. You would not be a company without this character. You were nobody until you made a Batman game. And now, 4 games later, you're like, you know what? Let's just shoot him on a bench. Nah, that's not. And that's another thing. Why have some of these characters got a gun? One of the characters in Suicide Squad is a giant shark man, and he has a gun. One of the characters is named Captain Boomerang. And his weapon of choice is a gun.
God.
Like Harley Quinn and Deadshot having guns, fair enough, especially Deadshot, obviously he'd have a gun. Why does King Shark have a gun?
Wait, so Boomerang doesn't have a boomerang?
He has a boomerang, but it's not his main weapon.
Oh.
And it's like, man, no it is. His name is Captain. His name isn't Captain Gun. It is his main weapon. Have him use the boomerang exclusively. Like, why are you scared of melee? King Shark should play like the Hulk, and he doesn't. He's just going around shooting people. Why are you a shark? Why are you a shark?
God, yeah, that sounds awful.
But also, like, they added.
How can they make that game and then charge people £100 for it? What fucking world do we live in?
And it's even worse because they're going to be adding new characters. It's like Fortnite. They want to keep it going for years and they're going new. And the next character they're going to add, as if they didn't want to already piss on the Batman Arkham Legacy. Because the game introduces Elseworlds, introduces the multiverse. And so the next character they're going to add is an alternate Joker who's like, there's no other way of putting it. This is one of the cringiest things I've ever seen. Instead of Arkham Joker, by the way, Arkham Joker, Mark Hamill Joker, the best Joker. When I think of the Batman and Joker, I don't think of Heath Ledger and Christian Bale or Michael Keaton and fucking Jack Nicholson. No, I think of them. I think of Mark Hamill and Kevin Conroy. That is the Joker. That is Batman. And instead of his Joker, who's like, like genuinely, he's like a scary character sometimes. Instead, we've got he's basically the Jared Leto Joker from Suicide Squad. When he comes in, he's got slicked back hair, he's wearing like a leather thing, and he's like young and gangster and hip. And it's like, man, go and fuck yourself. I don't want this. Who wants this? Who asked for this? No one asked for this. It's dumb. And it's even worse, because not being funny, again, I don't like this game, I'm never going to play it, but you made 4 Batman games. You have a lot of villains you could add to the Suicide Squad. Add, I don't know, Killer Croc, Firefly, fucking, I don't know, add Catwoman. Catwoman is great in Batman Arkham. She'd be great on the Suicide Squad. No, you're adding an alternate Joker, a character who is beloved and very dead in the Arkham universe. It's not even Mark Hamill voicing him. He's a fucking new guy. Who cares about this? I don't care about this new guy. I don't give a shit about this new guy. If Batman in the game wasn't voiced by Kevin Conroy, I wouldn't even care that he was killed on a bench. I don't give a shit about this Joker. It's like, oh man, I hate this game already. It's literally it's the Avengers game all over again. And I'm not making that same mistake twice. Is all I can say. I'm done. I'm sick of it. Fuck you, Rocksteady.
I don't think I would ever buy a game that costs. Also, for some reason, almost every game that I've seen come out over the past year or two, the past 2 or 3 years, that's cost more than 50, like 50 to £100, every single one of them has either been mid or shit. All of the amazing games that I've played have all cost way less than that.
No, that's the thing. There are some games that are fucking great that cost that much. Spider-Man 2, I overhyped a bit in my review. I still give it a good 7 out of 10. It's a good game. Is it better than Spider-Man 1? No, but who cares? £70 whatever. Alan Wake 2 is really good. It's not as good as the first one, but it's hard to beat. The first Alan Wake game is pretty fucking peak. 50 quid. Fine. The Last of Us Part 2, when that came out, was 60 quid. Really, fucking masterpiece, in my opinion. I'd happily pay 60 quid to play that. When Part 3 comes out, I'll probably be fucking 70 quid, maybe 80. I will pay it. I will pay it and play it because I trust The Last of Us.
I can't believe games just cost that much now. It's
but that's the thing. It's only, and it's unfortunate, but it's true. It's only going to get worse. The better the games get on a technical level, which are constantly happening. Yeah. GTA 5 when that first came out was probably around 30 quid. When GTA 6 comes out, oh brother, you better bet it's going to be 70, 80 quid. Yeah. And that's including the PC version.
God, that's fucked.
Almost certainly.
When I bought GTA 5...
I bought it on sale for 10 quid. Yeah. And it's the best purchase I've ever made.
Yeah, that bad boy only cost me about 10 quid or so.
Yeah.
But fuck me. I can't believe games cost so much now.
You know why? Because it's society,
Yeah. It's because companies can get away with it. People want to play video games, so if it costs 80 quid, people are like, yeah, I'll pay 80
quid. It's also because some video games will take ages to even make a profit. Because think about it. Even if it's 50 quid, really think about it. Say you're selling a game for 50 quid. Say you're selling it for 70 quid. But the game cost 250 million to make. How many units is that?
Do you want me to answer that?
Yeah.
70 quid, 250 million.
So 250 million divided by 70.
Well, you'd have to sell more than 5 million copies.
Yeah, let's find out. 250 million divided by 70. No, that can't be right then.
That's not quite right. Right. So we want to find out how many it would take. So 250 million.
Oh, that's why. Yeah, I didn't put enough zeros.
17. Yeah, 3 million. Yeah, so just over,
Okay, 3 million.
3.5 million copies. Which isn't...
No, you say that's not that much, but here's another thing you've got to think about with the games I just mentioned, especially. They're PS5 exclusives. The Last of Us and Spider-Man, for example, are PS5 exclusives. Unfortunately, it's actually not as easy as it sounds Like, especially PS4 exclusives, maybe. PS5 exclusives. How many people do you actually know that have a PS5? You know me. Do you? Does Luke? Does Leander? You're gamers.
Anyone else? No.
Yeah, you don't know anyone else.
See, I think most of the money that companies make when they make a game isn't coming directly from a person buying the game. It's from Xbox putting it on the Xbox Game Pass.
But again, PS5 exclusives aren't on the Xbox Game Pass.
Oh yeah, on the Sony, whatever it is, yeah.
No, but there's even more than that, because even in that £70, that's not all going to the company. It's also going to Sony. It's going to the publishers. It's going to that money's getting spread around. You know, you got to also take in the marketing budget and all that shit. Like, you have to sell a lot of Avengers, and this isn't a lie. Avengers didn't make a profit. It's unlisted now, by the way. Yeah, you can't even buy it anymore. The game doesn't exist anymore. If I didn't own a hard copy of the game, which I hate that I do, but if I didn't own it, I deleted it ages ago. I wouldn't be able to play it.
Holy shit! So they've made a game and now it can't be accessed anymore.
Exactly, unless you have a physical copy or you had it still downloaded, you can't play it.
God damn!
And that's a game I paid £50 for, which I regret. But yeah. A lot of games like that, when it's so exclusive to a platform, because if you also think about it, not everyone who owns a PS5 is going to buy like Spider-Man 2. You know, it's in no way a niche game, but like it's very bold to assume that'd be the case. Like, no, it'll be a select, you know, it'll be like, say it's even like 60% of the people who own a PS5. How many people do you know who own a PS5? Me! It's actually not, you know, compared to
I don't know anyone that owns a PS5 apart from you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And even me, like, my sister owns a PS5. She's played Spider-Man 2. Did she buy it? No. She played it from my account. Yeah. That's something people do. Like, yeah, it's actually like, don't get me wrong, I don't like the fact that they're so expensive, but I do get it. Not £99 for fucking skins. Fuck that. But £70, if I thought it was a game I was going to enjoy, which I know it's not, but if I thought it was, I wouldn't be that angry about doing it. Especially because, again, it's got infinite replay value depending on how good the game is. I will play Spider-Man. New Game Plus for Spider-Man 2 is coming out on the 7th of March. They just announced that today. I'm really looking forward to playing it on New Game Plus. That's a really great way of playing a game. And I will play it again in the future, you know? Yeah. Do you want to get into your topics?
I can do. So...
I mean, we're at an hour and a half.
So. An hour and a half. Well, my topics won't take too long, I don't think. So, what were my topics? Well,
just life. Life itself.
Just life, yeah, life, yeah. Today, this week, I felt a bit meh. Yeah. Just a bit shit, really. Just like, mostly, yeah, just thinking, wow, I just wish I had more money. Yeah. You know, I really do. I really wish I had more money.
Which is, I mean, it's quite hilarious in a way. Because you have so much more money than me.
But that is partly why it is so depressing.
Yeah.
Because I worked so hard for like 5-6 years to get here.
Yeah.
And now I'm here and it's like, wow, this like...
You're hemorrhaging money.
This like, this sucks just as much really as it did before.
Yeah.
And I think, wow, like, what next? What are we doing? What if we don't even make it to America? What if we're just fucking stuck here in fucking shitty England, like, you know, at least 5 miles away from the rest of our lives? Doesn't that sound fucking awful?
It does.
Like, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that's been me for like the past week.
No,
and a half,
I very much, I get those vibes. I have the same kind of thing. Because that's the thing, we're both working towards very, I'm not going to say unrealistic, but very hard to achieve dreams. We are. You know, I want to make movies one day and be recognised for my work. To be fair, I don't know what you want. I think you just want to be a millionaire.
I don't. What I want to own my own successful business, which I'm passionate about. Like, the business concept, I don't really care about. I think I just love the idea of, like, owning a business, being part, like, you know...
Being your own boss.
Not being my own boss, but...
Being other people's bosses.
I quite like leading a team of people.
Yeah.
I like being able to have, like, an inspired, ambitious team of people, and I'm leading the ship towards greatness, basically. I like that idea.
Yeah.
That's what I want to do. I want to have my own business. But
and that's the thing. Unrealistic isn't the right word for it. We can do it, but both of our goals aren't
easy.
Not even just easy. I'm going to be blunt with you. They're not achievable in the next 5 years unless we're pulling some fucking miracles out of hats. Yeah. Like these are long games that we're going to have to play. There was I'm not expecting my life to really get good until I'm like 40. But I'm still going to push for it for my 20s or 30s, and that's just what you're going to have to do too, man. How many ultra successful CEOs do you know that are 25? How old's Elon?
It's like 40, isn't it?
Exactly. 40 is when dreams come true. So we just got to live it out and work hard until then.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. Which brings me on to other topics, because it hasn't all been terrible, to be fair. There have been some good parts. You're
privileged. You have a great life.
Yeah, we went to go and see our neighbours next door. They invited us round.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah, so, firstly, the neighbours invited, he stopped by and he was like, hi, we're back from holiday, how's it going? And said, if you want to come down to the pub sometime for a drink, we should, that'd be nice. And I was like, sure, how about next Friday? And he was like, great.
Lovely.
And so that was Friday just gone. So we went down to the pub together, had a chat. He's nice. He's also a developer. So,
that's a coincidence.
Kind of like, similar
how
sort of interests. Like sort of typical like family age. So he's like
40.
Like 40.
He always dreams of worked out.
Damn it. But yeah, no, he's about 40. His wife is from Austria.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Does she talk like Arnold?
She does. Yeah.
Nice.
And they have 2 daughters. They're both very nice, and they have a dog. Yeah. And they invited us round. We all sat in the living room, had a chat, and yeah, it was nice. I was like, wow, I feel...
Is he like a father figure to you now?
He's like a father to me. Yeah, no. Yeah, I thought, wow, this is like really, I feel like an adult. Yeah, this is what adults do. They go and see their neighbours and shit. Yeah, it was nice, yeah. But, I think, also, I guess maybe, maybe ever since my mind has been taken off pursuing a better job, and now my mind is like, now that that's done, I always need something to think about. So I need to have some sort of goal in front of me, something to be thinking about. So now my mind's gone back to like, the normal sort of things that I think about, which is like, getting a business up and running, like we had Tensile, like before that there was the Amazon business or, etc. whatever. Now I'm thinking about this furniture app thing, and it's put me back in the mindset of, all right, this is...
I've never realised how much you're like Julian from Trainer Park Boys.
Yeah, man, I've had a lot of attempts. I keep trying, and I'll keep trying. But yeah, it brought me back into the mindset of, shit, man, we've got to... we've got dreams and shit. We've got dreams. Yeah, we've got dreams and shit. And and also focusing on it again reminded me how hard it is going to be to like, at least, I can't speak for movie directing and script writing, 'cause I don't know specifically loads about that, but at least for setting up a business and getting it to be successful, that's going to be hard. But at least what I'm hoping will happen is I'm hoping that at least this, because I think, I know I've said this every time with every business, but you should do.
Yeah.
I think that this is a great business idea. I think this is a great idea, and obviously you should say that with every business idea you have. And if you don't,
it's the same with scripts. If I don't go into a script being like, oh, this could be the best script ever write, then why bother writing it? Yeah. So I think this is a really good idea. We've talked about it before, and the more I thought about it, I thought, okay, this actually is. I think. To be fair, imagine thinking of a script or a business idea and being like, I think this is the most average idea I've ever had. I think this idea is like a solid 6 out of 10. I can't wait to get started.
Yeah. But I think this could be a good one. I don't want to say I think this is the ultimate business idea, but I think this is the ultimate business idea.
You don't want to. You want to be humble, but at the same time, you might be the smartest person in the world.
Exactly. Yeah. But
the most good looking.
What it's going to need is nothing short of a miracle, because it's going to need 3 things in particular. It's going to need, firstly, it's going to need me to design it and plan it and think about it, which unsurprisingly, it's kind of hard to design or plan something when there almost isn't something else to copy.
Yeah.
I don't want to say that, like, you know, when you go out to make something, you copy things. Well, you kind of do, but if you go out to make something and you don't have anything for like reference or inspiration, it almost makes it like really, really hard.
I mean, it's not just in movies. Literally everything comes from, there's zero originality ever.
Yeah.
We've been around for hundreds of thousands of years. Everything's been done.
Yeah.
Everything.
Been done.
You know, including every business idea.
Indeed. Yeah.
You know, so 100%. You need to find inspiration.
Yeah.
I thought you said that you had essentially found inspiration because you said that you were looking for furniture and you wanted something that was like a PC part picker.
Yeah.
Use that as your inspiration. Bro.
That's the best analogy that I can think of. But like, I want it to be something that's actually really, really impressive. It needs to blow people away. It needs to be really original and incredible because I want to take it to like conventions. And that's also part of it. I need to be able to do a pitch in front of thousands of people on a stage.
And I've said I'll help you write this pitch.
Yeah. Cause
I hope you perform this pitch. I don't give a shit.
Yeah. I will need all
in fact,
the
what
help
I'll
that
do,
we can get.
I won't help you pitch it. I'm going to pitch before you, and I'm going to give the worst pitch. I'm going to go up, and I'm going to start it by being like, I'll make myself sweat. I'll start sweating visibly. And I'll be like, hello everyone, today I want to introduce... and I'll and people are going to be like, oh, this isn't going well. And then I'm going to look up at the board and I'll click a button that will be for the next slide. And I'll click it a couple of times. They don't know that I've actually got the slide repeated a bunch, but I'll click it and I'll be like, this isn't working. And then I'll look out and I'll look like I'm really nervous, and then I'll start doing a little song and dance. I'll start clapping, and they're going to be like, "Oh man, you're blowing it, kid."
Yeah, and then I'll come on the stage and hopefully blow them all away.
Yeah. You'll come on the stage, and you know you'll turn me around from them, but you know, and it looks like the microphone's down, but it's high enough, just enough for them to hear it, and you'll be like, "Look, man, you're doing really well, but like, I don't know, maybe you should take a second, you know, take a breather. I'll take over from here. You go."
Yeah.
And then I'll walk off the stage, and you'll be like, "I'm really, you know, poor guy. I hope he comes back. I hope he does well. I'm proud of that guy, whoever he is. That stranger."
Yeah.
Anyway, let me get into my idea. And then you're going to come out and you're going to sound so fucking smart, sophisticated. And they're going to remember, they're going to be like, man, that guy had so much sympathy for that poor kid.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. Yeah. And then, I suppose in a similar vein to that, this week, I've been, I guess, maybe partly in like frustration and like, which is bad. You should never invest in stocks while feeling frustrated that you don't have enough money, because that leads to disaster, and it did lead to disaster.
Oh no, the helium thing.
No, it went well, which is what pisses me off.
Oh,
right. I should have
invested more. I say
no. I should have a lot more money than I have right now.
I say, because
like what you should do when you invest money into anything like this. So there's something called an AIM stock, which basically means it's a small company and they've put it on the stock exchange to, like, you know, generate hype and interest and get money going.
Yeah.
And typically companies like this are very, very prone to big institutions manipulating the price to basically benefit from it. So let's say, for example, you've bought this stock and you're thinking, yeah, I'm going to make some money. And then an institution will think, right, this company, we've just found out news that this company is going to make a shit ton of money. So we need all of the shares that are available right now at this current price, but no one's selling them. So how do we get them? I know what we do. What we're going to do is we're going to make everyone shit their pants and sell their shares. Oh. So what they do, they take their holding of shares and they sell all of them to another hand. What this causes is it causes the price to go down. They'll lose a little bit of money in doing it, but what it'll do is the price will collapse. It will go down 20%, 30%, whatever. And people like you and me will be looking at it and thinking, holy shit, what the fuck is happening? I'm going to sell my shares. Yeah. And they succeeded. They thought to themselves, how can we get all of the shares? they scared everyone and then bought their shares at the low price.
I see.
Right. And this happens all the time. And the reason why this happens is because it's a small company. So how much does it cost for you to move the price up and down by 50%? Not very much, usually less than 100 million. How much would it cost for you to make Microsoft's share price drop by 50%? Probably cost like $50 billion, which is why that doesn't happen. But on small companies like this one, it happens a lot. And so there was me, I think feeling frustrated and annoyed and wanting to get more money, feeling greedy, and just basically making loads of really bad investment decisions, buying and selling at stupid points in time. Yeah. And like really what you should do is buy something and just hold it and forget about it. But I was in the mindset of, I want this to make me loads and loads of money. So you're constantly checking it and you're constantly like, And so I could right now have £5,500 in my stocks account. Instead, I have 3,300. Which is annoying, but that's...
You still made money.
I still made money, yeah. I didn't lose money. Yeah. I made a bit of money. But,
I get your frustration though.
It is frustrating, and it's more frustrating because if I hadn't have been so this past 2 weeks, if I hadn't have been so desperate to just make some quick money and because I'm feeling frustrated, then I'd actually have a bit more money than I have right now, which is like the annoying part. And I don't know, man, you gotta,
I get it.
It's just, so, that's me. It's been a shit week, but fuck it, I don't care.
Hey man, it's gonna get better.
I think so.
I mean, I know you won't. But don't kill yourself. It'll get better,
It'll get better. I mean, I think
eventually this podcast is going to blow up, man. And we'll be millionaires. We'll be touring the country, Nethergreen live,
No. I mean, in a way, I think it's good to not be super comfortable with where you are, because otherwise, 100%. if I was happy, dandy, and comfortable with where I am, then I wouldn't be. You wouldn't
have the motivation to go further, to better
exactly, yourself. I wouldn't be trying to start a business or do any of these things.
Exactly.
Yeah. Indeed.
Yeah.
And hopefully we'll be able to get over to America soon. Yeah. I think that'd be a big step.
I will say this year it's not going to happen. For either of us, let's just be honest.
Yeah.
But if we could do it in the next 5 years, that's still an achievement.
Yeah.
That's still an achievement.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not done. Let's be honest. Dan doesn't listen to this anyway, so I feel like I could just say, come on, Dan. You didn't work to get to America, Your dad went there. You went with him. We're working to do it, brother.
Yeah.
It's not our fault we can't go there for another 5 years. We don't have a dad who moved to America and we could just follow. Alright?
Yeah.
Don't want to shit talk you, Dan. I love you. You didn't work for it. You didn't work hard. It was handed to you on a silver platter. You come from money, Dan, But yeah, I think that's it though. Because I want to watch something on your new TV.
Yeah, we'll watch something on the new TV.
Also, we did it again.
What?
We didn't introduce ourselves at the beginning.
Oh, who cares? They know who we are.
They know who we are, but it's like a good thing in case we get new listeners. It's the first episode. Fuck it. We'll remember for next time.
Yeah.
For now, though, if you've listened to all this and you are a new listener,
I'm Hector.
And I've been Bradley.
Good night.
Thank you for listening. Bye.